So listen, Kendrick dropped the record. I am going to go through my multiple thoughts as far as a lot of the things surrounding this. That's what's about to happen. So I'm going to be bouncing all over the place. Make sure you put on a seatbelt because it'll be a bouncy ride. Let's start. First thing I want to preface this with is I am not a stan. I will not even elaborate on that. I am not a tremendous fan or have any bias or stake in the game when it comes to these two individuals. So if you don't like my opinion, that's understandable. But don't think it's coming from a biased place because it's not. Granted, a lot of people's opinions are coming from a biased place. I am not one of those people. Let's go. So Kendrick dropped a diss. The diss is a very solid diss. But the one thing I am going to say is as a response and as a diss in this specific situation, it is mid. I will break down why easily. But before I get to that, one thing I want to talk about is the criticism towards him to come with brand new information and that he said everything that everyone has said already and we knew all of this information already. I think that's a bad criticism because the way that diss tracks work throughout history, it doesn't matter if we know the information, it has to be delivered in a way that hits hard and that is potent. Everybody looks, and I'm going to tell you what set the precedent for that. The Addy Don Pusha T diss. This is the thing about the Addy Don Pusha T diss. You had the cover with Drake and blackface. That's one piece of information that people were not aware of. But then you also have the fact that he had an Adidas deal and his son was going to be a part of the rollout. Those were things that we didn't know. You can also even throw in who his baby mom was. That is a small chunk of that diss. He talks about Dennis Graham. A lot of what he said about Drake's dad and Drake's mom were public information, and that's all it is. Even with 40 having multiple sclerosis and his disses on that, all he did was take public information and deliver it in a potent way. That's it. If you look at most of the classic diss records like No Vaseline, Hit 'Em Up, Commons, I See the Bitch in You, or anything like that, even back to back, that's all it is. Taking public information and positioning it in a way that hits hard. That's it. So like having to get all the brand new facts is not the standard. It's not necessary. Let's get out. I don't hold that against Kendrick. Let's get that out the way. The one thing I'll say that was good about the diss is lyrically, it was pretty on point as far as punchlines, metaphors, things of that nature, even certain angles that he took. But let's talk about my gripe with this diss especially, but even Drake's diss. They are too respectful. It is not disrespectful enough. The beef has no spice. I shouldn't have to go deep on this point because if you look at battle rap, any battle rap you can find from any big battle rapper, they say harsher shit to each other and they have more hostile energy towards each other on the stage than Drake or Kendrick have for each other in their disses. But this is the thing about Kendrick's diss over Drake's diss when it comes to this. He mentions things he likes and loves. He said he likes back to back as a record. He said he likes when he sings and he dances. He said at the top of the song, you know, if you don't tell lies about me, I won't tell truths about you. Like, you could just stop this now type of vibe. You know, he said a lot of things. I could get more. Even the YNW Melly friend line, I hope they're my real friends. If not, I'm YNW. But like, bruh, like, it. There's too much of that in there. It's the friendly fade line. With all of the aggression in Kendrick's voice and the fact that he has a whole tangent where he goes over how much he hates Drake and things about Drake, it seems like the animosity or the hatred, air quote hatred, is not really there. And I don't care if it actually is there or not. You have to sell it. You have to sell it. Battle rappers understand that, and they go on the stage and they sell it. No Vaseline. Hit 'em up. Even Mace the Oracle or even Remy Ma Sheether. If you listen to those, you think those rappers absolutely hate the person that they are dissing. The Game even had a point where he mentioned this and talked about how it's not disrespectful enough and how when he disses someone, the disrespect has no limits. And with this, that just takes, he mentioned it, like it pretty much takes the spice out of the beef. Now, outside of those things mentioned, I think it's a solid diss, but you have to understand disses to understand how heavy that plays into a rap beef, especially with these two individuals, and neither one of them having the aggression or the animosity that is necessary for this. And I understand rap from a standpoint of, oh, you know, shit can get real, but we have to be honest. We have to be honest. A lot of these beefs are of no consequence. That is just a fact. More rap beef is of zero consequence than there is as far as rap beef that actually has consequences. That is just a fact. That is just a fact. If I go down a bunch of rap beefs like the Locks versus Rockefeller or Joe Budden versus G Unit, nobody got hurt and everybody is cool today. I just mentioned earlier Ice Cube and NWA. We know Eazy-E was a real gangster. We know all these people were in LA. The ones that are alive are all chilling today. Nobody ever did nothing to nobody. So I get it. I get it's a lot of, you know, we from 64th, we not some 63rd shit going on. When you look at like the drill shit, this is not that. You have to understand that. This is not that. I understand Chubbs is like, you know, oh, you know, these guys is tweeting and they like drop that shit pussy and all this shit and they ready for war. This is not that, and they not gonna get buddy as far as Kendrick, and Kendrick is not mobilizing the goons on this nigga or no shit like that. You can hear it in his voice. That's what he doesn't want to do. He doesn't want it. He wants to keep it as a friendly fade music. And it's cool to keep it that way, but when you say it in your diss record, man, what the fuck are we doing? I never seen that. I never seen it. It's almost like a plea copping. I've never seen that in all of my years of listening to hip hop. I've never seen that. Now, this is one thing I want to get into, which is the actual bias, because some of you are still going to hear all that stuff that I said and think, oh, you biased and stuff. Like, even though I did the disclaimer and you don't know me and you don't watch a lot of my videos, you didn't see that I said I didn't feel the Drake diss when it first dropped, but then it grew on me days later and stuff like that. Y'all think anybody that doesn't agree with you has a bias, but I'm going to tell you who has a bias. First off, let's just get this out the way. TDE, anybody in association with TDE, it's like, we already know what your opinion is going to be before you saying it. Like, so we know what your opinion is going to be. You're still allowed to have it, but it's like, we just know it's not coming from a genuine place. Like, you're supposed to ride for your dog. It is what it is. So, like, I hope they don't think that, you know, the general population or the general fans are stupid and we just think that you go and call it straight or whatever. Like, we know what it is. Then when we get to the West Coast, that's a little different because Kendrick, yeah, he represents the, and let's be honest, man, I ain't seen nobody from the Bay or Sacramento that hold weight in the rap game talk, it's all LA niggas. Like so really like they say West Coast and like, oh niggas, because he said in his diss like niggas don't fuck with the West Coast and shit. Like, Cameron said it today, man. Nobody give a fuck about that shit as far as like the whole East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, down south. Like that shit is some 1999 shit, bro. Like 1996 through 1999, bro. And really, like when we look at it, like LA and Oakland are different as fuck. Like they just are, bro. They just are. But we not getting that deep. Like nobody cares enough to just be like, yo, the West Coast is fucking trash. I understand fucking Flacco is out there and he be talking about all the West Coast shit, but I'm gonna keep it so real with you. If Flacco was in fucking Vancouver or where Dakota, wherever he came from, he wouldn't talk about West Coast shit as much as he does. That's just what it is. I'm not gonna get deep on that, but the whole thing, I done seen a few people come out. You know, shout out to the game and Whack 100. They're the only people from LA that went against the grain. But people are coming out saying stuff like, oh, you got something against LA and niggas got something against, bruh. Bruh, just because a nigga don't like the shit or think it should be something else, don't mean niggas hate LA. Like fam. Like, it's just, that's a ridiculous thought. But the whole thing about that is they're not going to be real and say, we are riding with Kendrick because he is not only like one of the top 3 rappers in the fucking game, but he represents LA on the highest level. So we have to back this guy. We have to back this guy. We representing the home team. Fuck anybody. It's us versus everybody. They're not going to just be real and say that. They're going to say that you're a hater because you don't agree with their biased opinion. And they are biased because they are from the West Coast. They are from LA. And I don't even want to say West Coast no more. It's just strictly LA dudes. Like, it's strictly people within that LA area. I have not seen nobody from no other area with a bunch of clout saying nothing. So as far as my next gripe, I'm just going to be honest, man. And I'm going to be brief with this, man. The amount of dick riding going on both ends in the standing, it is just crazy, bro. We'll start with the narrative that Kendrick should have or had to drop a diss in 48 hours, 7, and I'm pretty sure I even spoke about this in a previous video. I mentioned that Ether took 6 months to drop. Yeah, it was a different time frame, but you know, all that matters, this is the only thing that matters, is that when Kendrick comes hard. I personally don't think he came hard enough. Pause, no Diddy. But with that, that's my stance. So outside of that, like as far as people, they was just on this cat, oh, the beef is done. I ain't gonna hold you. That's where the dick riding starts. The dick riding starts as far as the Drake stand saying the beef is done. Drake won. He shouldn't even drop nothing. It's like, bruh, you niggas just like, bruh, like I don't understand that frame of mind. But even then, I don't understand the mind of a stan. I can't understand a grown person loving a dude so much that they just gonna ride for him regardless, and they never met this cat, and it's not somebody they personally know and is close to. So with that, that's the start of the dick ride. And then Kendrick drops. And then even it's when Kendrick drops, this is the most explosive shit ever. It's crazy. We already went over the, oh, you a Kendrick hater and stuff like that. If you don't like it, blah, blah, blah. I seen niggas saying things along the lines of, oh, man, you Drake stans. Y'all just want to dance to the record and He ain't let out no dance shit. That's one of the talking points. Another talking point that has come up recently that I was going to break down in detail, but I'm not, is that 2 producers, Boy Wonder and Noah, are listed as writers on Drake's diss. I'm just gonna be quite frank. I'm gonna just give you some facts. Number 1, producers can be listed as writers even if they didn't write a lyric. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you like I know 100% of what goes on. I don't know if that's because they get a writer credit on the publishing, but I do know that is something that happens even if an individual has not contributed a lyric. Second thing is, how dumb do you think it would be for Drake to put whoever wrote his shit on as a credit on his diss? That would be insane because number three, the way actual real ghostwriters work in most cases, they don't get credits. Nas wrote Getting Jiggy With It for Will Smith, but to be fair, Lil Yachty for Drake allegedly wrote Jumbotron Shit Poppin', and Quentin Miller wrote 10 bands, 20 bands, and stuff like that. And both of them are listed as writers. But I can tell you on both of those songs, the producers are listed as writers too. But we know those guys don't make beats. I'm not going to say Yachty don't make beats. We don't know Yachty as a producer. We know Yachty is a rapper. Quentin Miller is a fucking rapper. So like when you see a rapper listed under there, it's a little bit different. And if you really think about it, if you were Drake and you're getting ghostwriters or people to write your shit, wouldn't you want, because Drake is a high level rapper, whether you want to admit it or not, wouldn't you get somebody that is actually putting in a lot of work writing music? That would make more sense. Instead of a fucking engineer who is a co-producer who nobody has ever heard this nigga spit a bar ever, and Boy Wonder, who has been in the game for close to like 15 years? 15 years at this point? I'm pretty sure he was producing for Cardinal Official before fucking Drake even got on and shit. So like, this motherfucker's been around for quite a while. But all that being said, man, like, the stand shit is just insane. You know, I could drag this and I could make it a longer and just get into it more, but I'm gonna wrap it up and say this. What needs to happen as far as this beef is one of two things. Either A, these niggas need to fucking patch it up, hug it out, or just shut up. Whatever the case may be, just stop it here. And I don't want to hear no more subliminals for the rest of niggas' career. I don't want to hear none of that. Because if this is what we waited 11, and this is the gripe that I had the whole time. When the Kendrick verse dropped as far as like that, I was like, bruh, these niggas been kicking subs for 11 years, bruh. I'm not excited by this. Give us the actual disses. Then the disses is mid. Like, what are we doing? I get it. I get some of y'all are easily entertained. I get some of y'all are like turbo fans of one nigga or the other. I'm not. I'm not easily entertained, and I'm not a fucking turbo fan. So, and granted, I'm just one person. But this is my thing. So the first thing I'm saying is, bruh, if y'all gonna keep copping please, if you plan on copping please in your next shit, don't even drop it. Let's just get out of here. Let's just wrap it up. Call it a fucking day in a life. And y'all motherfuckers just never diss each other again. And y'all have a silent animosity beef like Prince and Michael Jackson had towards each other. How about y'all do that? Or B, or number two, however you want to label it. A, B. The second thing, if this happens, I need these niggas to take the fucking gloves off. I need them to not anticipate a round three, because that was round one. Need them not to anticipate a round three. I need them to do like everybody else did in the past and just drop your one nuclear diss. I need you to drop your one joint. I need you to drop your hardest shit. I need you to put everything into it and wrap this shit up so we can fucking, if we are meant to be wowed, we can be wowed. We can be in awe. We can say that's crazy. And if your shit is weak, we say your shit is fucking weak and we be done with this shit. We be done with this shit. Because who the fuck wants motherfucking any type of beef with no seasoning, my nigga? I'm done.